Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to give you your April 2016 general reading. I am using the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week with an additional card as your overall theme and general feeling of the month, your crowning card, also your advice card. These are general readings. You're probably sick of all of us saying that, but they are general readings, so if they don't make any sense to you, they don't apply or resonate the same with everyone who watches, do check your rising and your moon sign as well to get as clear and informative a picture of the month ahead as possible. Thank you to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. I love reading your comments and your feedback. I don't always get the chance to reply to them personally, but I read each and every one, and I love doing it, so keep those coming, and thank you so much for your support. A special thank you to those of you who keep me so busy with personal one-on-one readings. It is always an honor and always a pleasure to read for you. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do that. And for those of you who are interested in a one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the About sign on my channel's homepage, and that'll give you a little more detail in my contact information. And you can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I do readings full-time, so I work pretty diligently with your schedule to get you your readings as soon as possible. My current turnaround time is around 1 to 4 days, depending on schedule shuffling and rescheduling and whatnot. So again, if you're interested, just shoot me an email, and I would be delighted to work with you. So let's get right into this. This is for Taurus. For April 2016, our lovely horned bulls, Taurus. April 2016. Beautiful earth element of Taurus. What does the month of April 2016 hold for you? April 2016. Taurus, April 2016. Show me Taurus, Taurus, April 2016. Okay. We begin the month, I'm having one of those I've been electrocuted hair days. We begin the month with the Justice card, followed by the 2 of Swords, the 5 of Cups, followed by the 10 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, followed by the 8 of Cups, and the Chariot card, paired with the Fool card. And as your overall theme and general feeling and advice over this reading, the card from the bottom of the deck is the 6 of Swords. So let's take a look. Okay, let's begin. So Taurus, we find ourselves at the beginning of April 2016 with the major arcana card of Justice, paired with the 2 of Swords. So the Justice card, major arcana, fingers of the divine, significant, profound influence, change, shift, and advice. The Justice card is the card of what you reap is what you're going to, or what you sow is what you're going to reap. What you put into something is exactly what you're going to get out of it. The Justice card also strongly advises that whatever this situation is, and for the majority of you, I think it's going to be about some kind of relationship, whether it's love and romance or something else. And the Justice card, the advice is to walk through this thing and make all your decisions based on whatever sense of honor and integrity is authentic and true for you. The Justice card resonates for me with a lot of the same energies as Judgment, although it doesn't have quite the air of finality about it that the Judgment card does. But however this is going to resonate for you, Taurus, it looks like a decision needs to be made about something. Going into April, you're needing to make a decision about something, and it looks like the situation that you're looking at has a fair amount of emotion attached to it. But the Justice card asks you to try and remain as impartial as possible. Justice being blind, as the saying goes. Typically in the justice system, a decision or outcome is supposed to be based just on the facts and the logic of the situation and what can be proven. and is supposed to be impartial and as devoid as possible of emotion and sentiment. So again, Taurus, it looks like you're entering April 2016 needing to make a decision about something which looks to have a fair amount of emotion in it. The Justice card is asking you to remain as impartial as you possibly can, go into it and through it with as strong a sense of honor, trust, and integrity as you can. And what you put into it and the energies and motivations you put into it are what will be returned to you. And it is something to do with a decision that needs to be made because that Justice card is paired with the Two of Swords. So the Suit of Swords is governed by the element of air, and swords is all about our words and ideas, our thoughts, our mindset, our perspective, how we look at things. It's all about what goes on in our head. And the Two of Swords, as you can clearly see, points to a decision needing to be made. Something is in front of you that needs to be dealt with, but you're feeling a little stuck. You're not sure how to deal with it, how to proceed, what decision to make, how to act, as is represented by the blindfold on this woman. She can't see which way to go. She can't see which sword to choose. I often feel an air of compliance in this card, regardless of whether or not you or somebody else initially put that blindfold on that makes you feel so stuck at the beginning of April, Taurus. You're the only one that has the power to remove that blindfold. The advice of Two of Swords would be to reach up, take the blindfold off, look at this thing head on in the full reality that it is, and make your decisions and actions based on that. And again, as it's paired with the Justice card, the advice is to try and do that as impartially as possible and with, again, a good sense of honesty and integrity walking through this, because you're going to get out of it. However you react during it is going to, I think, directly affect how you go through it and what the effects are afterwards. So at or around the second week of April 2016, we have the Five of Cups paired with the Ten of Swords. So Taurus, it looks like this thing that you're considering, not really stuck, feeling stuck, not knowing what to do, what decision to make, how to act, has something to do with, I think, somebody hurting you and somebody hurting you deeply, disappointing you, letting you down somehow. And you're really just kind of focused all around the middle of the second week of the month. Just kind of focused, or the temptation is to focus all your mental and emotional energy on the negative of the situation, which is what the Five of Cups represents. The Suit of Cups is governed by the element of water, and it's all about our emotions and feelings, our inner and outer landscape. It's also a suit that points towards love and relationships and how we relate to the people in the world around us. The Five of Cups points to being at a place where you're really grieving a loss of something. Something you have lost something, something has been taken from you, or that is your perception of it. You can see on this card that there is three cups on the ground beside this man, all tipped over and spilled out, and he is grieving over that. He is focused almost completely, to the exclusion of everything else. All his mental and emotional energy is looking at what he's lost, what's been taken from him. But this isn't the Three of Cups, it's the Five of Cups. Right behind this man, you can see are two other beautiful cups, still upright, still remaining, standing upright with something still in them. So the advice of this card, Taurus, and I would suggest that you try not to, as much as possible, try not to pull back some of that energy that you're focusing only on the sadness and the grief and the loss that you feel, and recognize that there are still some blessings that remain in your life, still something to be salvaged from the situation, some wisdom still to garner, and that all is not lost. But it looks like you're focusing on this, and the reason you are is because you feel hurt. Somebody has let you down, somebody has hurt you very deeply or disappointed you very deeply, or a situation has not turned out the way you expected it to, and you're deeply disappointed, deeply hurt. That Five of Cups is paired with the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords, as you can see, is a card I've heard sometimes referred to as the feeling stabbed in the back. There can sometimes be a sense of betrayal that accompanies this card. Again, whatever it is that you're grieving, that you feel you've lost or has been taken from you, it feels like someone has hurt you, someone has betrayed you, they've let you down in a serious and deep way. And that's what this card represents. You can see this man is lying face down in the ground, and all of these 10 swords are pointed down at him. In other tarot decks, I've seen this man lying face down, and the swords are actually piercing him, and there's like blood in the snow or the mud. But the positive aspects of the Ten of Swords tend to represent the ends of cycles, things coming full circle, the culmination of something, the ending of something. And the redeeming quality of the Ten of Swords is that whatever hardship and emotional pain and betrayal, whatever it is that you've been through, Taurus, that is leaving you feeling such a sense of grief and loss, the worst is over. It's not going to get any worse than it is. That's the redeeming quality and the positive side of the Ten of Swords. You can see on the landscape of this card, whatever violence has happened here, whatever these 10 swords represent that has put this person face down in the ground, it's over now. The sun is rising again on the horizon. A new day is dawning. The animals are returning to the scene. The birds are flying back in. Whatever it is that's happened that has hurt you so much and caused you to feel, again, such a sense of grief and loss and emptiness, the worst is over. It's not going to get any worse than this. A new day is dawning, and recovery and healing is waiting for you. All you need to do is just get up and um, basically keep going. Perhaps seek some help and some support from the people around you. So I'm sorry to see that for you, Taurus. It looks like you've been hurt or really let down. I think for a lot of you, actually, I mean, in terms of cup cards, you have far more swords than you do cups. For some of you, this is going to resonate as a relationship. Could be a love romance relationship, a family relationship, a close connection with someone, a best friend. You feel very let down and betrayed by this. You feel a sense of loss, a sense of grief, a sense of emptiness, maybe even a sense of betrayal, like somebody lied to you or something. There is a fair amount of swords cards here too, which points to mindsets and perspectives. And for some of you for whom this does not resonate as a love relationship, it could be perhaps a business deal or an entrepreneurial enterprise, some situation, something that you were pretty sure was going to work out a certain way and it hasn't at all. And you're just feeling very let down, very disappointed about that. Now, around the middle of the month, maybe going into the third week of April 2016, Taurus, we have the Four of Swords paired with the Eight of Cups. And this is a very clear to read combination of cards for me. The Four of Swords is a card of needing rest and respite. It's a card of feeling depleted, exhausted, kind of at the end of your rope, and needing to take a time out. You can see on this card this man, whether he's just completed a battle or he's taking a break from a battle, for the time being, he's not engaged with any of these swords. There's three swords above him and one lying close by his hand should he need it. But for the time being, he has withdrawn from the conflict. He is not engaged because he has nothing more to give. He is exhausted. The thing that always strikes me as significant about this card, the picture on this particular Four of Swords, is this man is still girded for battle. And typically, and that chainmail weighs a ton. Typically in battle or during battle or when they're done with the battle, when they go to take a rest, they have their page or their squire or somebody remove the armor for them because it's so heavy so they could lay down and rest comfortably. But this man was so tired, so depleted, so exhausted, so worn out that he just collapsed on his couch and fell asleep. This is a card really, it looks like Taurus, whatever this thing is, you need a break from it and pretty fast too. Looks like it's taken a lot out of you. You're just tired. You need to take a step back. If you're still engaged in the conflict, the strong advice of this card is to withdraw from whatever the conflict is, whatever the heartache is. Take a time out. Maybe for some of you, if you can carve out some time to get away for a little while, or even a few days to do so, you need to rest, recharge, and take care of yourself. And that's going to require a leaving, whether it's a leaving temporarily or just deciding to turn your back on the situation or the relationship, because that Four of Swords is paired with the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card of leaving, of having made the decision. He's already made the decision on this card. Perhaps you already have, or that's what the advice is, or you're in the process of trying to decide whether or not you want to walk away from this situation or person, relationship. The Eight of Cups is a card about definitively walking away from something you have found ultimately disappointing, ultimately dissatisfying. You can see on the ground behind this man there are 8 cups. Some of them are tipped over and spilled, and some of them are upright. The implication being that he has tasted and drunk from most, if not all, of these cups. And while he may have found them rewarding or distracting or satisfying for a time, at the end of the day, ultimately, it did not turn out the way he wanted to. And he has made a decision definitively to leave, to walk away, to seek his joy and his fulfillment somewhere else. He is dressed for travel. He has his cloak on, his hat on, his walking staff in his hand. His back is turned to us. He is ready to move on. So it looks pretty clear, Taurus, that this has just taken a lot out of you. You need to withdraw. You need to take some time out. Go away if you can. Rest, relax, recharge. Do whatever it is that makes you feel better. Begin that healing process. And it's going to require a leaving, a walking away, whether that's temporary or permanent. I think it's going to be up to you, which is probably what that Two of Swords energies is also about. So at or towards the end of April 2016, Taurus, we have the wonderful combination, major arcana combination of the Chariot paired with the Fool. Fool is my favorite card in the tarot deck. The Chariot is a card of swift and successful forward motion. This is a card about speed, propelling yourself forward. It's also about the harnessing of a variety of different forces, bringing them together, making them work together in perfect unison and perfect harmony to propel something forward. And again, I feel like it's directly connected to your moving through and away from this thing. Again, whether it's temporary or permanent, I think is what the decision is really going to be about. But again, it looks like this is where you're going to find your new beginnings. This is where you're going to find a new path by moving through and away from the situation as quickly and powerfully and definitively and decisively as possible. That Chariot card is paired with the Fool card, which is the card of new beginnings, the beginning of the beginnings. This is a complete start over. This isn't a fix it. This isn't a do over. This is a start over from the very beginning, a completely new path. The Fool is the zero, the first card in the tarot deck. And the Fool reminds us that while it's important to have a destination in mind, while it's important to set goals and to reasonably work to obtain those goals, the Fool is here to remind us that the true wisdom and joy and fulfillment is on the path itself and not in arriving at the destination. The Fool reminds us that we need to enjoy the steps of our journey and we need to enjoy the adventure of the life that we're walking, to stop and smell the roses, to enjoy each step of the way. That is where the majority of our wisdom and fulfillment and joy comes from. Not to go on the opposite end of the spectrum of the Fool, we need to make sure there's water in the pool before we jump into it. As I always say, the Fool probably also doesn't care whether he's packed enough socks and underwear for the journey. He doesn't care. He's dancing merrily along with perfect faith and perfect confidence that whatever his goals are, whatever his destination is, he'll reach it in the time he's meant to, in the manner he's meant to. He has the faith and confidence of that. This is about having faith in beginning a new path, faith that it's possible and moving yourself towards that and putting yourself on it as swiftly and successfully as you possibly can. It's a beautiful and powerful combination of cards. And I really feel like the advice of the cards, again, at the end of the day, we live in a free will zone and we can always choose to do whatever we want to, which at any time can change the landscape of a reading. But it looks like the advice of the cards is to withdraw from whatever this heartache, this pain, this disappointment is. Take some time out, recharge, maybe go away for a while, go within, rest and relax, take care of yourself, leave it behind. Again, whether it's permanent or temporary is up to you. But the advice at the end of the month and at the end of the day is that this how you move through this is really going to garner you that new beginning, and that also that new beginning is possible. You know, you've got two major arcana cards together, which, you know, always leaves me feeling such a strong sense of divine timing in this. But again, I think it's dependent on whether or not you withdraw and walk away from this and how. So your crowning card, Taurus, the card that represents the general overall theme and feeling, kind of echoes that Four of Swords. We have the Six of Swords, which is a card of moving away from troubled, turbulent waters into smooth and serene waters. In other tarot decks, I've actually seen the water behind the boat be very choppy and wavy, and the water in front of the boat be very smooth and placid. But there's a very strong undercurrent of healing and restoration and peace with this card. It's kind of a quiet, somber card, but it's positive in the upright. It's a card of transitioning into a healing period. Um, and I kind of feel a sense of sadness that, again, the cards need to be pointing towards withdrawing from the situation or person, moving away from it, and doing it as quickly as you possibly can, because the quicker you move away from it, the quicker you can begin a brand new path, which looks to have an incredible amount of potential on it. But it does feel like there is some sadness, a fair amount of sadness in transitioning away from this. But it looks like the cards are very strongly indicating that that is what is going to be needed for your healing and your peace of mind and the restoration of your soul. So Taurus, it looks like kind of a challenging month emotionally, and some difficult decisions being needing to be made. And walking away is never easy, even when we know it's the right thing to do. So my heart goes out to you. All peace and blessings and strength to you during this time on this path. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope it's given you some insight and clarity and some food for thought on how to walk through this month, Taurus. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the About sign and email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I thank you very much for watching, Taurus, and until I see you again in a couple of weeks for the mid-month general readings, I wish you joy, peace, strength, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks for watching, Taurus, and I'll see you soon.